Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Michael Hellickson here with Club Wealth, and I'm super excited. I gotta tell you, we had a bazillion people register for this webinar today, and I'm watching the screen right now, and I'm seeing a ton of people logging in as we speak. And I'm not surprised, and I'll tell you why I'm not surprised, because we have one of my very, very good friends and absolute ridiculous Facebook rock star, Mr. Travis Thom. And I say he's a Facebook rock star. Really, Travis is more than just a Facebook rock star. I mean, he's wicked good at all things Facebook. He knows what's going to happen at Facebook before Facebook knows what's going to happen at Facebook. I mean, like, these guys should be hired. I don't understand that. But it's like, seriously, like, he was just telling me something just before we got started here. He's like, yeah, so this last week Facebook just did this, and it's going to impact this, and here's how we're going to adjust to it. And I'm like, dude, like, seriously, this is why I like surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me, and Travis is no exception to that rule. So that being said, before we get started, what I want you to just mention to you guys is, number one, as you have questions for Travis, I want you to please type them into the questions box on your screen. And the reason is because we're going to do the best we can throughout the time that we're together today to answer your questions. We'll certainly take some time at the end to answer your questions, but I want to make sure that we get to as many of them as possible, make this as interactive as possible, even though Travis has a full hour of content for us. And when we say content, we're talking like crazy good stuff. So that being said, for those of you that don't already know, my name is Michael Hellickson. I'm with Club Wealth, and I'm one of the coaches here at Club Wealth. So what we do is we coach real estate agents from brand new on up to literally the top agents in the country. In fact, I believe right now one of our clients is actually the #1 agent in the entire country, and has closed 3.9 million in GCI already this year. We'll finish out the year at well over 5 million, may end up even pushing the $6 million mark in gross commission income this year. So proud of them. That being said, Travis Thom, go ahead and tell us who you are and tell us what you're going to be sharing with us today.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate the kind words. And Michael's been a big influence in my life and lots of our friends and clients' lives. So if you aren't affiliated with him yet, jump on, and now you will be. Great guy to be around. So thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. I'm really glad.
I'm a Facebook advertising strategist, and I also own or co-founder of a software as a service product that is single property websites, home valuation landing pages, a few of those kind of things. And today I'm really excited to share with you Facebook seller lead funnels, and I'm going to go kind of deep into a few different things here as we expand exactly on that topic. So I'll go ahead and get started here with this. So once again, I'm the founder of Elevated Real Estate Marketing. We have Facebook coaching, and we also have a Facebook advertising agency where we run Facebook ad campaigns specifically for real estate. I was in the real estate industry for over 14 years. Started when I was 19 years old, and built my company over those years, and learned a lot of my strategies during that time, working for condo townhouse developments and selling single family homes. So our story starts with this one kind of critical thing that happened to me. This one critical piece of my story when I was in real estate. And it all starts with a girl. I met this girl.
Dude, that's where the trouble always starts. I'm sorry. For you, that's terrible. I can't believe I just said that, but I can't. Okay, keep going. I'm so sorry.
It turns out to be a good story. There's this girl that I met, and I was early in my career, or kind of in the middle of my career, just starting out in real estate. And eventually I fell in love with this girl. And by falling in love, right, the next kind of natural step for me is I wanted to propose. So I started, the natural thing of going online and looking for a ring, looking for an engagement ring. And I was about, I guess I looked at about 12 to 14 different websites looking for engagement rings. And during that process, you know, trying to find out what the right one is, and going online and trying to be kind of sneaky about it, so she wouldn't find out. Well, several weeks later, I started to see and notice that there was this ad following me around, this ad for this specific diamond ring company. And out of all of the ones, there's only this one, right? Out of about 14 different websites, there's this one diamond ring company that was following me around. And I started to notice it more and more as I would go online and start, you know, to go on Facebook and look at different things and do my work. Well, the ad kept changing, and there was, I think, ad number 4 or 5, where it was kind of a bespoke style type of ad about how they make the rings and the artists that design the rings, and exactly what they, how they shape them and create them and draw them out in the design process. And then it was ad 6 or 7 that really started to show me a variation of the different settings that they had. I think it was on it must have been ad 12 or 14 that eventually it struck a chord with me, and I went back. I kept going back to the site, right, because it kept showing up, and I eventually bought that ring from there. Well, that strategy was such an impact to me because it really kind of resonated, and the light bulb went off, which is that this wasn't a small purchase, right? This was kind of a large emotional purchase. A purchase that you're making at a certain life stage, and how that translated to real estate was very similar, right? Real estate is kind of an emotional purchase. It's a very large purchase. It's not just like buying a pair of shoes online. And it was something that really stood out. And I thought, well, if this worked on me, would this work also on our properties? Well, at the time, we were a small brokerage. There was a team of about 3 of us on this brokerage, me and about 2 buyer agents. And so we weren't necessarily killing it. You know, we were still, you know, trying to catch up and be a part of the game, and really learn how to really market ourselves, not just in terms of real estate, but just online in general. Well, after this event happened of buying this ring and experiencing this type of retargeting, I then decided to deploy this strategy and really start to map it out. And this is also very fresh and new for us, so we kind of fumbled around with it. You know, it wasn't an exact science at the time, but we accidentally really kind of picked up some steam with it. And at the height of my career, once we really started to get some of these strategies going online and started to perfect them, I had 271 listings at the height of my career. We grew to a team of 30 people. We grew into 3 different companies. We had a condo townhouse new construction division. We then had our main single family sales division, and then a property management company with over 150 properties. And that strategy we deployed then into each different one of those companies as we grew. And that was what really helped shape, and still to this day, I use the same strategy and teach that. And by the way, the girl said yes. So we now have a beautiful baby girl.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I got to jump in 1 second, because I got to tell you what one thing that you just said. Now, I'm a show me guy, right? Like, I love it when people tell me, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be great, and I'm going to be all this, and I'm going to do all these cool things. You know, I'm a show me guy. Like, show me what you've actually done. And by the way, my voice is going. I apologize, you guys. It's been a lot of webinars this week, but I got to tell you, when I hear somebody tell me what they're going to do, what I really want to know is, what have you actually done? And what I heard Travis say is, this man has had, at one point in his career, had 271 listings. You guys, that's no joke. I tell you, I coach the top agents in the country. I can tell you there are very few people in this country that have ever had 271 listings. So, you know, this is a guy that went from that into becoming this amazing Facebook expert, and he's telling us exactly how he not only made that transition, but But if he made that transition, that tells me that he must be very, very, very good at Facebook. So pay attention, because what he's sharing with us today works. And I'm telling you, the top agents around the country listen to him. So should you.
Thank you, Micah. And you know, at the time, some of the tools that were being rolled out were very fresh and very new, and they've gotten so much more refined now. Right? All these amazing tools are at your fingertips, you know, ready to use and deploy. So to me, it's an exciting time to be able to really show everybody what, you know, how this is actually working. So today's agenda, agents are leaving money on the table. And this is a big thing that we had been missing early in our career as we start out in real estate. Ad retargeting 101 and why ad funnels work, and then how to build this type of funnel.
As we do this, I want to jump in. We've got a couple of questions already, and keep those questions coming in, you guys. One of them is about, are home value ads dead, and how do we get seller leads? And so those, we'll make sure that whether it's right during the content or after, we will get to those questions. So we'll be talking about that as well.
Certainly, and I'm going to just answer that one kind of briefly right there. So we're home valuation landing pages, home valuation ads. I believe that there's still a very large portion of the market where they work. However, part of the strategy that I'm going to show you is how I think that some of the typical ways agents are using home valuation landing pages is either broken, or there's a leak in the funnel, or they really haven't leveraged certain things that Facebook provides to be able to really execute home valuation landing pages or the idea of it to the fullest extent. Mm-hmm. Now, this same strategy can also be used with Facebook lead ads, videos, blog posts, right? There's different types of lead magnets at the top of your funnel that you can utilize. For this example, I'm going to be using the home valuation landing page. One, because it's one of the ones that's the most widely used. I think a lot of agents see other agents posting home valuation ads, and so by just the visual impression, right, they go, oh, it's saturated, so I shouldn't do it. Well, that's just an agent using really bad targeting, right? They're not excluding other agents in there. And there's a few different secrets that I'm going to show you exactly how to really increase that. We all know that there's an enormous amount of interest of people wanting to know their home's value, and how that market performs, right? Market updates, market reports, lots of things like that. So we'll go into that deeper, but I'm going to show you how to utilize this into other strategies as well. So it's not just home value, it's kind of a combination of those different things. But we're going to use this one for today's example. So some of the most common misconceptions with landing pages, especially home valuation ones, are that they're going to be the silver bullet to get listings, or that one action on that site is going to equal some sort of loyalty, right? That because someone did fill it out or go there, that they're also going to then know who you are, and then that's when you follow up that they're going to actually respond. Or that they're going to leave all of their information, right? That every web visitor that's going to go there is actually going to convert and put information in. Or that they visited your site once, so therefore they must know who you are. Or that every lead is actually hot and ready to go. Well, we've all seen this before, this kind of setup here, where this is the average agent kind of interaction with online leads, and it lacks follow-up and kind of lacks some brand awareness strategy with it. Well, number one is you start some sort of ad, right? Some beautiful ad that's going to go to some beautiful landing page with some sort of offer to the seller, targeting homeowners. Then you capture them and you send an immediate follow-up, but then there's no response, right? There's absolutely no response. And then it kind of moves into number 5 here, where it's just crickets. It's absolute silence. There's no response from them. You follow up maybe once or twice more. You still don't hear anything back. And then about maybe a couple of months later, then another agent sells the property, right? And then you follow up again and you finally get the seller on the phone and they say, yeah, I just sold that property about 2 or 3 weekends ago, but thanks for following up. So we've all kind of experienced this. right, at some point in time in our career. Only you're just experiencing this now, and there's a lot of frustration around it. And the big kind of thing here is there's some big gaps, right, between number 1 and number 5. There's some critical things that are missing in terms of how Facebook advertising operates today and lead nurturing. So some quick facts here: 79% of the leads never convert into sales, right? And the number one reason with this is lack of lead nurturing, right? That's a really critical thing. And lead nurturing moves into a few different categories, but I'll touch on exactly what that means. 50% of leads gathered online are qualified, but are not ready to act immediately yet right now, right? If you go back to my story about how I really kind of crafted this methodology through, in my story of looking for an engagement ring, and buying engagement ring online, I wasn't ready to act right there, right? It was 4, 5, 6 months later that I was actually ready to go and pull my wallet out and buy this ring. So 50% of leads are qualified, but they're not ready to act immediately. And a lot of agents, they only reach out. They make about 2 attempts in a short period of time to follow up with that lead. And then about 44% of agents give up on a lead after the first follow-up attempt. And that's kind of a shocking one right there, right? That they stop, right? They don't continue. But where are the leaks in most agents' funnels, right? We have to kind of go through, and I'm using the word funnel a lot. So if you're not familiar with the word funnel is an inbound marketing strategy term where you are creating some sort of lead magnet where you're running an ad to a certain audience, and they then either opt in or visit a page or whatever it might be, or go to a Facebook lead ad and fill it out. That is your top of funnel, and you're pulling them into a funnel then where you're going to then nurture them and take them through this entire sales process. So what are the leaks in an agent's funnel? Targeting. Are you targeting the correct demographic for the actual ad that you're running? Or are you just casting a wide net and doing brand awareness where it's this blanket marketing, shotgun approach to kind of anyone and everyone? Are you using brand awareness, right? Do people recognize you in your market? Do they know your logo, your brand message, right? Do they know what you're about? Do they know what neighborhoods you specialize in and what neighborhoods that you sell in the most? Social proof. Do you have social proof? Are you promoting social proof about your success, right? Are people aware that you are the number 3 agent in your market? Or do you promote your coming soon, just listed, or any of your testimonials? Those things that are going to reinforce your brand from a psychological level. And then multiple touch points. Do you have a long-term follow-up campaign? Is it automated? And a clear call to action at some point in time that's clear and concise to get them to take action, right? Not beating around the bush, not being, elusive, but actually going for a direct call. So let's actually do this. If you answered no, odds are you have a leaky bucket in your funnel and you're losing some money. So there's a big missed opportunity here, especially with Facebook. So I'm going to take this example of, let's say that we have a landing page of a home valuation landing page or market report landing page, and you've sent 1,000 leads to this landing page. You've had 1,000 people click on your ad and go to it over the course of maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months, but only 5% may be converted at that time. Well, what happens to the other 950 people that you paid for that traffic, right? You paid for each person to click on it and get there. And these 950 people that didn't convert, they raised their hands, right? They actually clicked on your ad and moved forward through the process. But for whatever reason, they got there, they didn't like the way it looks, or the call to action button color was wrong. They didn't want to enter their information. The dog jumped on, the couch or whatever it might be. They had to leave. Well, if we aren't capturing those other 950 people, right, that's a big problem. What happened to them is they disappear into the ether. And so if we're not using Facebook pixels or Facebook ad retargeting, we've lost that opportunity forever, right? Those 950 people are gone.
Well, and Travis,
So what
let's
is
call it
ad?
what it is. I mean, it's incredibly easy to lose that audience, right? You get a split second to get their attention and to capture them, but that in
Right,
that split second, you can capture their information on Facebook, so you can have them now pixeled and be able to retarget them. So just like you're saying, now I can be in their face all the time. And I'll tell you, that is, to Travis's point, the lion's share of the people that are going to come through your ads are going to be these people that bounce right out, but they're not lost forever. And that is those are some of the best leads in your business, because they're blowing out of everybody else's funnel too. So what you now have to do is you
right.
have to stay in front of them. That's what you're showing us now. So
Exactly. That's spot on. So what is ad retargeting? Well, the ad retargeting basically is using a snippet of code that Facebook gives you, the Facebook pixel, to be specific. You place that into the back of your website or your landing page or your blog post, whatever that might be, and then that's going to allow anyone that visits your website, you can then place them into a custom audience automatically. Place into a custom audience that you can build out, and that you can then show ads to those people, those specific people that visited that landing page or website, whatever that might be. And who were kind of the original creators of this was Amazon. Amazon, if you've ever looked at a pair of boots or shopping for some sort of product, whatever it might be, a book, then you leave their website, you didn't check out, then they're going to start following you, right? And they're the ones that really kind of created liquid or dynamic ads, which actually narrow and laser down to the exact product that you looked at. Well, the same methodology, the same type of technology is what Facebook is using, and that you've already experienced at some point probably in your life shopping online. And this is the ad retargeting for Facebook. So once someone leaves, then you're going to then be able to retarget them. Now, this is kind of a quick example of where that would go. There's this home valuation landing page, and then under here in the back end, you would place in this little snippet of tracking code right there. Every website's a little different. Some have plugins, WordPress plugins that you can use. Others you give to your developer, and they put it in the header tags. And it's actually kind of simple instructions. If you know what you're doing, it's quick, it's easy. Now, this is kind of a really basic diagram of a real basic type of ad retargeting, which is a potential seller visits your home valuation website. They leave, they don't enter in your information, but that's perfectly fine, right? Because you have a pixel on there. Later, they get on Facebook, they surf the web, and then they see an ad for you, right? And then that sends them back to whatever website or destination you want to send them to. So why is ad retargeting so important? Well, 84% of the world's top internet marketers use ad retargeting for brand awareness. And they also use it to increase sales. So some statistics here, the website visitors who are retargeted are 70% more likely to convert. And this is a retail stat, I understand that, but this also transfers over to real estate when you're talking about the ROI of properties, right? The ROI, what the return on investment for retargeting someone if they're going to be buying a $200,000 house, a $600,000 house, right? It's pretty large. And retargeting customers, people that you're retargeting, are 3 times more likely to click on your ad than people who haven't interacted with your business before. And then my favorite stat here, 147%. Basically, that right there is retargeting can lead to 147% higher conversion rate over time when in combination used with prospects. And what we mean by that is if you have text messages going out, if you have emails going out, and you have ad retargeting in play, and maybe you have an ISA, right? You have an inside sales agent that's picking up the phone and making those phone calls at the same time. 147% higher conversion rate. And that's not for every industry, but I can say from the hundreds of campaigns that we've run, we can definitely see a lot higher conversion rate based on combining all of these things, the perfect storm. So how do we plug the leaks with retargeting ads? Well, this is an example of what a kind of 30,000 feet up, what does a funnel look like, an ad funnel look like? So you have your TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU. Some of my favorite terms there. TOFU, your top of funnel. So your top of funnel is either Facebook lead ads, it could be a home valuation website, it could be an ebook, whatever that might be. And you're sweeping demand, right? You're targeting a certain audience and bringing them into the top of funnel, capturing a wide net of people to get in there. You grab their attention and you're providing information. It's some sort of lead magnet of interesting material that's going to be of value to them, right? Something that is going to create awareness and get them to take the next step of going into your funnel. Now that they're in your funnel, then they're going to move into the middle of the funnel. There's going to be some sort of trigger, which is going to be your pixel, right? Your ad retargeting is going to kick off. And in the middle of the funnel, you want to have, basically there's several goals in it, but some of the two biggest goals are social proof and affirmation, right? Social proof that you are a successful agent, right, in this market. Affirmation that you're the right choice, that you are the solution to the problems. So what goes into the middle of the funnel? Well, a few different things, but just some examples here. How we market or how we sell homes, testimonials from past clients you've had success with. Those are some critical things and some key components to crafting the middle of the funnel. The middle of the funnel is the longest phase of your seller campaign. It's the longest part of it. Now, the bottom of the funnel, that's where it's going to be the invitation to act, getting them to convert. So we're going to go into the acquisition phase here. In the top of the funnel is typically the awareness phase. Middle of the funnel is the consideration phase. And the bottom of the funnel is the acquisition. Now, what does this create? Why do funnels work? Well, there's something called the frequency illusion. And the frequency illusion is something that you've probably experienced before. If you've ever gone shopping for an Audi or let's say any kind of new car, and you start to then see that car in parking lots, right? You see the same make and model or color, and then you see it also on the road, and you see it at the movie theater, and you start seeing ads for it. And the ads become more impactful, right? They become higher resonating because you're hyper aware of it, but it creates this frequency illusion that they're everywhere. And Michael, one of the funny things that when I was really, we were really kind of hitting it hard in the real estate firm, and we had people in the middle of our funnel, I would go on the street and there'd be some friends or family or other people, past clients or people that we've worked with that had gone through the funnel or that were in the middle of my funnel. And they would say, I see you everywhere. I see your billboards. It looks like you're doing a great job. Well, the funny thing is we didn't have billboards. We never did, but people assumed that we had billboards or outdoor advertising because they would see the face name recognition, our brand. They'd see all this online, and then if they drove by and saw one of our for sale signs, it became that much more impactful, and they became hyper aware, and it created this illusion that we were so successful in our market, and it kind of created this compounding effect over time for the people that were in our middle of the funnel. My next door neighbor wasn't in my funnel, so he had absolutely no clue what I did. But the people that were in my funnel, they had this frequency illusion.
Well, and one of the there's actually a mechanism in your brain. So this is actual neuroscience, you guys. There's a mechanism in your brain called the reticular activator, and that's what causes this frequency illusion. So, for example, pregnant women notice other pregnant women, right? Because their reticular activator is now dialed in to other pregnant women. Because they're experiencing pregnancy, all of a sudden it seems like everybody else in the world is experiencing pregnancy. So this works to your advantage when you're retargeting, like Travis is telling you. And to your point, Travis, you're absolutely right. What happens is all of a sudden they think you're everywhere. And the illusion is you can take a little teeny company or little teeny agent, that did 3 transactions last year, and they think you're the biggest agent on the planet because you're freaking everywhere. And every time they go anywhere online, they're seeing you all the time.
Exactly. And the whole idea of a funnel, especially this type of funnel, is that you're taking them through this indoctrination process. You're taking them through there's really the power of persuasion and influence. So there's a deep psychological play that goes on in this type of marketing. So this is our seller funnel blueprint. This is just one of our many blueprints that we've built out as a Facebook advertising agency and for some of our clients. And this type of funnel, really kind of looking at it from the top down, I'm going to walk you through exactly what it does and what it looks like. So we have our top of funnel, right, our TOFU ad series. So individually, and this is up on the far up left corner here, those are Facebook ads. Each one is an individual ad targeting an individual different market, right? Each one, so there's 4 different markets that we're targeting here. Those ads are driving traffic to this one landing page. Inside of this landing page, we have a pixel. So we're targeting homeowners in 4 different areas. We have some sort of special offer, right, that we're asking them to take action. They go to the landing page, and if they fill out the landing page, if they provide their information, then it goes into a follow-up series, right? Then it's gonna go to an email sequence or text message sequence, and it's gonna kick that off. At the same time, then it's also going to trigger the Facebook retargeting pixel. And then one by one, the middle of the funnel gets kicked off. So the middle of the funnel, this is an evergreen, time-delayed, sequential retargeting ad series. I know I used kind of a big fancy word there, but that's kind of how we catalog this inside of our agency. So what does that look like? Well, the first ad will go out, right? Maybe within an hour. The first ad will go out and it'll be a blog post, let's say. It could be top 5 things you should know before selling your home in today's market. And then that links back to your website or some sort of blog post, right? This is very specific content to the actual lead, right? To the actual targeted audience that we've defined at the top of the funnel. Then that runs maybe, let's say, for 6 or 7 days, and that person sees it maybe once a day, every day for 5, 6, 7 days, and then that ad burns off, and then now we have another ad. Let's say this ad is social proof, and it's testimonials. It could be video of testimonials. It could be just written testimonials, your Zillow or Real Satisfied, whatever that might be. But social proof is one of those primal triggers, right? One of those primal things that people gravitate towards. If you ever go to a website and it says that we work with these companies, right? And it has all those top brand companies that you're hyper aware of, that's social proof, right? Testimonials on a sales page. If you think of infomercials, right? What are one of the kind of key things that they have? Social proof of people saying, the best success with X product. Well, same thing with this. People want to know that they had success with you, success with sales. And so it builds that trust and closes that gap and builds that connection and builds that affirmation that you are probably the expert and authority figure in that market. Well, then there's also the listing alert. This could be something that's used to let them know there's activity in the market, right? That could be a carousel ad of all the new listings that have just hit the market within that week or that month, sending them back to your property search website. Then an ebook, then something about marketing, about how you sell homes, how you stand out from other agents. So this middle of the funnel can actually go on for months. It can go on for however long you want it, depending on the constraints of what we're using at the top of the funnel. I'm not going to get too technical with that, but the middle of the funnel is where your persuasion and influence really starts. That's where you really have to be thoughtful of exactly what you're presenting there. And I'm going to show you the framework that we use, the methodology that we've built out for this exact thing. Then at the bottom of the funnel, let's say maybe 45 or 60 days later, then we have our bottom of the funnel ads that start to show up, which is a seller's consultation. Hire us, that could go to Facebook Messenger, or do you have questions? Let's chat now, right? We're asking for the close. At the same time all this is happening, they hopefully, if they did convert the top of the funnel, they're getting these emails, text messages, they're seeing your ads. You may have your inside sales agent or just you, whoever it might be, making these follow-up calls. And a lot of this can all be automated, right? A lot of this can all be built out and automated. And if you didn't capture them at the top of the funnel, right, and they just visited the website, same thing. They just clicked on the ad and landed there, but they didn't put their information in, then there wouldn't be any emails or text messages, but the rest of the campaign would continue exactly as it is here. Mm-hmm. So the seller lead formula that we've created for this, which is positioning, right? What does this do? Well, this positions you as an authority figure in the market. And there's something called the indoctrination and pre-framing process. So Frank Kern, another online internet marketer, said it best. Pre-framing is essentially using marketing to control their opinions and feelings about you before they even have a chance to read your sales message or interact with you in any way. And that's exactly what the middle of the funnel process is, right? We're taking them through this indoctrination and pre-framing process, really doing your entire sales pitch, your marketing listing presentation, and everything that's added to it, right, over the course of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever that might be. So then the process of converting leads to clients, right? You're gathering the leads, you're nurturing them, you're following up, and then we're moving into the conversion process, and then those equal closings. Now, when to use pixels to retarget for the top of funnel? So your top of funnel doesn't have to be a home valuation landing page, right? And kind of mentioned that at the beginning of this. It can be a Facebook Canvas ad. If you haven't experienced what a Canvas ad is, it's a mobile immersive ad that's just only on your mobile phone. It's not for desktop. You open it up, and it's a very engaging, different style of ad. You can have videos in there, carousel ads, a lot of different things. Facebook lead ads. So Facebook lead ads, where they actually click on an ad, it flips around, and it's like a little mini landing page inside of Facebook. It's very quick. It pulls all their social profile information automatically. There's a really high conversion rate with Facebook lead ads, specifically because of that, because Facebook made it so easy to capture leads with that. So I'm sure some people on this webinar are actually using Facebook lead ads. You can use it as your top of funnel, and we use it for our top of funnel for a lot of different campaigns. And then video views, right? You can retarget people based on video views. How many people have watched a certain part of the video? So you don't need a pixel for those types of things. What you do need, what is required for a pixel, right, to install it on, is anything that's going to be in a digital asset outside of Facebook. So a landing page, your property IDX pages, blog posts, your property websites. Those require a Facebook pixel to be installed to then take the data from your website and then feed it back directly into Facebook. So this is our middle of the funnel psychology ingredients, right? This is the breakdown that we have here. We're using the acronym BURST. We created this after running several different campaigns and really starting to position what actually starts to work from the psychological aspect of the persuasion and influence. So the first part, B, is brand introduction. This is your digital handshake. This is creating awareness and familiarity of you and the market, and almost storytelling, or what we call your brand story. So if someone visits, let's say, a Facebook lead ad, and they're downloading a market report or home valuation, and then the next hour, 2 hours later, they see an ad that says, hi, this is Travis Thom with ABC Realty. We've sold over 110 million in the past 7 years. We're recognized as the #1 listing firm in your market area. We'd love for you to meet our team and find out what we're about. And then that might go to a blog post to talk about your brand story, or goes to a video, whatever that might be, or it may be a video. But your brand introduction of really showing face name recognition and really saying exactly who you are. So the rest of the story unfolds. And we have to think of this as almost like a novel, as a chapter book, right? Chapter 1 is your brand story, introducing the characters that we're going to show throughout the rest of the story. And then it unfolds from there. Unknown opportunities. So we might have the part of it suggesting that you hold the keys to a door of otherwise unknown opportunities, such as certain list of homes, or that you have buyers looking in their market that other people don't have, whatever that might be. Certain data, things that are opportunities, getting them to click and come back to your website and to interact with you. Reciprocity. This is kind of a big part of it. Reciprocity, making an emotional deposit before we can make a withdrawal, is one of those critical things, right? If you don't make a deposit before you make a withdrawal, and then you're trying to make a withdrawal to someone or a prospect or a lead, you're asking them to convert right away, you're going to probably end up with, an overdrawn account, right? It's not going to work. A lot of people go straight from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. Some of them are going to convert, but there's a good majority of them. Think back to me shopping for engagement rings. I was 4, 5, 6 months out from actually making a decision and buying something. Same thing with real estate. It's a longer decision cycle. They need to be nurtured. They need to be educated. And this is part of that reciprocity, which is giving them information of value that helps them to make that decision. So there's a less friction barrier, and it helps build up you as the educator, right? Top 5 things you should know, or 10 things you need to do in order to net the most amount of money before you sell your property, right? Blog posts, articles, ebooks, those kind of things.
So
social proof.
I want to jump in here before you go to social proof, because there's a couple analogies that I think are really important here. And this piece, this reciprocity piece, is one of the most important things middle of funnel. I mean, it's absolutely critical, and it's one of the things that most people skip past. They just go completely past it. And so this is where Gary Vaynerchuk, right, talks about jab, 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 right hook. And really what he's saying is give value, 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 then go for the close. I always like to use the analogy, if you go on a blind date, and think about the last time you had a date. Maybe for some of us it's been a while, for some of you it's been recent. But if you had somebody show up, ladies especially, think about this. Guy shows up to pick you up for a blind date, first time you've ever met him, knocks on the door. Door opens, you say hello, he says hello, and he immediately goes for the kiss. I mean, come on. Like, how many of you are going to be like, oh yeah, this is my kind of guy, right? Most of you are going to be completely turned off by that. Now, some of you, I can see some hands going up now. Trisha's like, hey, I got my hand up. I'll do it. No, that's not the way most people like to interact with people. You got to take them out to dinner first. You got to take them to a movie. Go show them a good time. Take them to the county fair. Do something. Do something that shows some value before you go for the close. And to Travis's point, so many people are trying to go top of funnel right to bottom of funnel, and you're blowing your leads out, and you may never get them back. Even, you could do a lot of retargeting with that lead, and if you're constantly coming right back to close before you deliver value, you're going to have trouble getting them to convert.
Exactly. That's the perfect analogy for it. And same thing with social proof, right? They want to know, what is your track record to some extent. So social proof, that's, showing testimonials, reviews. There's lots of people that have a lot of great reviews, but they're kind of hanging out in the web, not really being leveraged or utilized. So you need to package those and really show those to those prospective clients that might be on the fence, because it's showing that someone's had success with you, or that you've helped them and impact their lives in a positive way, is that natural that natural primitive feeling, right? To then be drawn to that, right? It is that magnet. There was a study done by a university, I believe it was Cambridge, where they had one person, and they were studying social proof. They had one person on the street looking up at the sky and just kind of gazing, right? Just up on the sidewalk, staring up at the sky. This one person. Well, they had these students, kind of in the background, just studying and watching what happened. Well, people started walking up and gathering behind them and doing the same thing, just staring up at the sky to say, what are they staring at, right? Well, that is part of that social proof. If one person is doing it, other people are going to do it. They're going to be drawn to it, right? Same kind of thing. There's this whole, it is so primitive in nature. We're always drawn to social proof. So really package and utilize that. Next is trust. Building trust with your audience with relevant and engaging content that is, really kind of highlighting your expertise and positioning yourself as the expert and authority figure. And if there's agents on here that, go back to social proof and think, well, you know what, I don't have any testimonials, I'm just starting out, or I've actually had a lot of success, but I don't have any testimonials. That's okay. You can show social proof of the market. Social proof of how the market's performing, social proof of your company, right? If you're with a bigger company, social proof of the team, if you're with a team. So there's different layers that you can tap into with that. So what does the top of funnel look like? Once again, we're going to use a home valuation example here. for this, but there's an exchange of goods, right? You're educating the audience and you're requesting their contact information. So we're trying to grab their attention, send them over to a website. And if you see here, there's a play on continuity. The ad image matches the landing page. Now, Facebook values continuity. They greatly value continuity. That's one of those things where they make sure does the scent, and conversion optimization is something called the scent, like the smell. If the smell falls off, right? If the scent falls off, if you have this kind of beautiful image and then all of a sudden it goes to this strange landing page or website where there's all these links and different things, and then it's a stock photo of just a big for sale sign, you've dropped the scent from this original photo. There's going to be this disconnect there, right? There's going to be a high bounce rate. So what does this photo really show in terms of ad targeting? We're targeting baby boomers that are educated, affluent, that might be living in a higher end property. Those are those things that you want to make sure that your ad image and ad copy is also crafted to really focus and be hyper relevant to the actual targeted audience that you're showing there. But this is an example of the top of funnel that we're sending them to this landing page. Same thing, that's where you provide the pixel and the back end of that landing page there. Now, the middle of the funnel, right? This is where the social proof, the affirmation, right? You're taking this indoctrination process here. So up to the top right, we have a testimonial, right? We felt very comfortable placing our trust in his hands, and then a call to action on there, right? And some consistent branding of that company. Then on the left here, we have buyers looking in your area, right? This is one of those where we, on the untapped opportunity under the BURST, right, acronym that we have for our formula. So we have buyers looking for homes in your area. We have over 54 homes that are, or 54 home buyers that are looking to buy a home in the Los Ranchos market, but there aren't enough listings in the market, right? So it's kind of talking about, if you're interested in selling, send us a message. Well, that goes to Facebook Messenger. Now, the middle of the funnel here, right? We're building credibility. We're recapturing leads to your funnel, prove success, and it's going to position you as the expert, right? And position you as the solution. Once again, some more middle of the funnel types of examples here. This one is showing different tips, seller tips. Each one is kind of focused on a different thing. They're little GIF video ads that are being used to talk about how to get the highest value for your home, the different things to do, pricing your home correctly, and downloading the seller's guide. And if you have any external websites, make sure to place a pixel on all of them. The bottom of the funnel, real quick here, we're going to talk about that. I'm only going to show one example of it because there's a few different examples, but we're short on time, so I'm going to show just this one bottom of the funnel example here. But may I buy you coffee, right? We're getting a little bit more towards that ask, that personal belly-to-belly type of conversation that we want to engage with them. So we want to have a call to action. We want to go for the sale, ask for the business, start a conversation, and build trust through this. So reserve a no obligation seller's consultation. And what do you use for the bottom of the funnel, right? After they've gone through the entire funnel, the middle of the funnel, and then now they're in the bottom of the funnel series here, we want to really start to engage them and get them to have a meeting with us, strike up a conversation. By now, they should know who you are, what you do, what your services are, right? They should know your name, your face, your brand. They should be hyper aware of your success in the market and be more familiar and more excited to talk to you. So when you do engage, it's not a cold conversation. It's more of a warm conversation because they should know your story, right? They should know exactly who you are. So what do you use for the bottom of the funnel? Well, you can use Facebook Messenger. There's a system that we use called Calendly. It's a very slick system where you just send people to there and they just choose a date and time. You can use the call now ad that goes to your phone number or a Google phone number, right, that then distributes out to those people. You can go to anything that is going to connect the people to you with the shortest amount of distance. So we don't want to create a lot of friction at this point. We want to create high engagement, either by making an appointment for a seller's consultation, a success call, chat with us about, whatever that might be at the at the bottom of the funnel. Now, some critical things here. because what we're talking about is getting people to click on your images, especially for this type of campaign, is getting people to click on them, to open them up, to capture them, right, inside of your funnel. So a company called Customer Acquisition found that images are so important, they're responsible for up to 70–90% of an ad's performance, right? The actual images on the Facebook ads. So they studied about 100,000 Facebook ads going through this process. Now, what they discovered, the two critical things was you need to place the key messages on the images, right? Kind of summarizing what the ad is about. And you've seen some examples of that. And then make the CTA look like a button, make the call to action look like a button. Now, reason why we place some of the messages on the images, and some we do and some we don't, and it depends on the type of campaign. Well, even if these people are in the middle of your funnel and they don't click on the ad, you want them to be able to get the message exactly and see it, right? The impressions. You want them to see what it is, what it's about, and that sinks into the back of their mind subconsciously. The more they start to see it, it moves up to the front, so it's top of mind. A few different ad formulas here. We have emotional, rational, and social proof. Right? So emotional. Big decisions are only scary if you don't know the outcome. These are ad copywriting type of formulas that we use for the top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel. And there's a few different variations of them, but we're going to show you two that are our favorite here that you can execute. Emotional. Having an emotional image that is hyper relevant to the actual audience that you're running the ad targeting to. Just the other day, I saw an ad that was of a person my age. It was a man, and there was this, gold bars stacked in front of him, and the headline said, "Why are men 35 years? Why are men 35 years of age investing in gold more than ever now?" Right? That's a hyper relevant ad. I'm 35, and I'm a man. So that is a hyper relevant image to me. And then rational, some sort of rational headline, getting them to, this is an expert home value analysis, or social proof. We've sold over 189 homes with 90% of the list price, right? Packaging in those for your top of funnel. And then ADIA, attention, interest, desire, and action, right? Attention. You have to really jar the reader out of their kind of, boring lives that day, and grab their attention. Use an interesting image, get something that's going to be high contrast in colors, something that's different that really kind of pops, that gets them to recognize the ad. Create a thumb stopper is what we call it. Then desire. What is the actual desired outcome, right? Build that desire inside of there. And we use things called like open suitcase headlines. Do you know how much it would sell for? Question mark, right? That's an open suitcase headline, getting them to take action. So that is our seller lead funnel. I know we have a lot of questions here, and we're kind of approaching our time, so I want to dive into those, if that's okay.
Absolutely. First of all, awesome stuff, Travis. As always, awesome stuff. We got a lot of people saying, where's Adrian? Adrian's like, Travis, you rock, man. Yeah, everybody else is saying the same thing. Tristan saying, awesome, great stuff.
Tristan.
Okay, so here's the thing. First and foremost, we are going to go through all your questions. We're going to take them in the order that they come in. So we're going to start at the top, work our way down. But understand this, you guys. You've got to be out there it's one thing to go spend a whole bunch of money on Facebook ads. It's another thing to get very targeted and make the most of every lead that comes in. You don't have to spend a ton of money to have this work for you at a high level. The key is we want to get every single person that clicks on that ad, we want to get the most out of every one of them we can. So instead of getting 5% conversion on an ad, maybe we can get 10% conversion. Heck, even if we only increased it to 7.5% conversion, that's still ridiculous dollars at the bottom line at the end of the year. So, Travis, let's start with this. Lori Lotchfield's asking, saying, if you have two different landing pages, one for sellers and one for buyers, can you segment the retargeting by ad post since you only have one set of pixels for a particular website? So what she wants to do is be able to retarget sellers with one ad and buyers with a different ad.
Exactly. Yes, you can, Lori. So how you would do that essentially is that you would have, so you have your two different landing pages. You have your seller landing page, your buyer landing page. You can place your pixel in hundreds of different websites. Yes, you get one pixel, but the pixel is very smart, right? So and Facebook is basically coming at it from an efficiency angle of saying, we're going to give you just one pixel instead of 500. So you don't have to keep track of all 500. You just have one, and you place it one into a seller landing page, one into a buyer landing page. And then with that, then you create a custom audience. And that would, in my mind, and how we would use the right proper naming conventions, building the custom audience for that, was we would say top of funnel seller lead landing page, top of funnel buyer lead landing page, and categorize those two separately. And for whatever market area you would define, you would say that market area, in the actual naming convention of naming that custom audience. And from there, then you need to make sure that the retargeting ads that you build for each one is only using the custom audience for the seller. So your message needs to be clearly defined to sellers or buyers. So if you have a seller funnel, then you want to have all your messages in the middle of the funnel really be written specifically directly to that prospect, right? Because not everyone consumes the content the same. The things that you're trying to show a seller is going to be completely different than the things that you're then going to show a buyer, right? Buyers are more property centric. They're more interested in the opportunity, and they're kind of already hyper aware of what's there. But you're serving them a different type of content versus sellers that need to be persuaded and really shown of your success of the market, and everything that kind of combines with that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I agree. I think you're 100% correct on that. So let's, by the way, off topic, somebody else was asking about BSM, which is completely off topic. We have our Business Strategy Mastermind conference coming up in Anaheim, California. Travis, I believe, is going to be there. I'm hoping is going to be at the Business Strategy Mastermind conference in Anaheim. So you guys, for those of you that have not signed up already, go to clubwealth.com/BSM. I stuck it in the chat here so that you guys can see it there. clubwealth.com/BSM for the Business Strategy Mastermind conference. All right, check this out. George is asking, when retargeting ads, I know they're the cheapest ads to run, but how much should I spend, like, for an average 6-day period?
Great question. So there's different types of ways that you can build out your retargeting ads as far as marketing objective, right? When you're creating your marketing objective, when you first create an ad, you click on that green button, the money button inside of Facebook, right? You click on that, it opens up the campaign. It says, choose your campaign objective. There's going to be a list of different types of objectives. There's brand awareness, there's reach, there's traffic, right? There's video views, there's conversions, there's lead generation. All of those have a very specific type of goal that work off of the Facebook algorithm. Some of them are CPM, and some of them are OCPM, cost per 1,000 impressions, and then optimized cost per 1,001 mile impressions. Not to get too highly technical there, but in terms of a budget, you can spend, if you choose certain naming conventions, you're probably going to spend only maybe a few dollars a day on each ad. So let's say you have 5 different ads. You can spend, because that audience is very small, so you're going to be choosing one of those campaigns, either traffic or whatever it might be, to then say, I only want to spend $2 or $4 a day to this specific custom audience for this specific ad in this ad set. So, if you have a budget of a couple $100 a month, you can achieve this strategy. It's not unobtainable. And I think that's what a lot of people, they start to kind of see, which is that you can really build out a solid strategy with only a few $100s a month in ad spend. 80% of your budget, 70 to 80% of your budget is going to be spent on the top of the funnel, driving traffic in there, right? Just getting traffic in there. The 30 to 20% of your budget is going to be spent in the middle and the bottom of your funnel. That's probably where it's going to go.
So, okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So 80%-ish is going to be top of funnel. I get that. So how long, and actually one of our questions from Lori was, how long should we leave them in the middle of the funnel, right? So how long are we incubating in the
Right.
middle of the funnel before we go for that close? And then what kind of ROI should we be looking at? That's Kennedy's question. So anyway, go for it. I'm going to let you hit both of those.
So in the middle of your funnel, sellers are going to be typically a longer, going through a longer decision cycle, right? Sellers, they're typically 4 to 6 months out before making a decision. They're in the information gathering stage at the top of the funnel. And then, they're then kind of going through the process of looking at either moving out of state or to another property. And from a behavioral standpoint, then that is the proper time for us to take them through this funnel. So it depends on the age range. Baby boomers, that older generation has a longer decision cycle. From a psychographic standpoint, they're kind of known as professors because they're going to really read everything and take more time to really kind of factor out what is the best case scenario for them and strategize about how they're going to get there. For Gen X, it might be a shorter bit of time because kids or jobs or pressures, whatever external factors that work into play. So ideally for that, at a minimum, I would say 90 days. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be the entire 90 days, but I would, and for what we've seen, 90 days is going to be probably the minimum. Now, you're not spending a lot of money during those 90 days if they're in the middle of your funnel and you're retargeting them. It can go longer depending on what type of your thing you're using. If you're using a Facebook lead ad versus a landing page or video views, there's going to be different types of times that you're going to be able to retarget all of them and include them. For the longest, well, you could try and go out a year. It starts to get kind of advanced at that point. There's definitely some advanced strategies that you'd have to deploy, but I would try and keep it with this type of strategy. It already is slightly advanced, so you probably want to keep it as simple as possible and strive for something minimum of 90 days. And then kind of an average medium of probably 5 to 6 months.
Well, and Travis, here's the reality too. You guys can completely screw this up, right? You can just throw a pixel in there and start running some, value-driven stuff to your clients. It's in that middle of the funnel stuff. Just give them value, and just completely screw up and really not even understand all the rest of the funnel that well. And you're still going to do better for very little. I mean, it's very inexpensive to do this. It's a few dollars a day. Literally, you can do $3-5 a day, whatever. But you're literally spending virtually nothing on this, and you'll get greater response because again, people are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I see you everywhere. Everywhere I go, there you are." I mean, think about this. How many of you see Club Wealth over and over and over again, right? I guarantee that you guys are seeing us all the time. Some of you are seeing us 33 to 40 times a week. We do that on purpose. We spend a lot of money to do that. Why do we do that? Because we want to keep great, valuable content in front of you so you continue to come back to us for that information. And people say to themselves, oh my gosh, if they're willing to do this much for me for free, imagine what they'll do when I'm paying them. Think about that in your business, right? If you're willing to give all this great information for free, imagine what a great job you'll do for them and how much more you'll give them when they're actually paying you to sell their house or help you buy a house. All right. So we got a bunch more questions. Before we get to the rest of the questions, I want to make sure that we tell you that Travis, and many of you may not know this, but some of you are probably thinking to yourselves, oh my gosh, this is just too freaking complicated. Like, it's just too much. How do I do this? Okay, I get it, all right? So I'm going to go Joe Pesci on you, right? Okay. Listen, we have a solution for that. Travis actually offers a service where he will literally do all of this for you. So Travis, could you just tell us about that real quick, and then we're going to get to the rest of the questions.
Certainly. So our advertising agency that runs Facebook ads for real estate teams, brokers, agents, we have a white glove service where we build this entire campaign for you. We have a creative copywriter that interviews you to understand your brand and help us create the top of funnel ad copy, middle of funnel ad copy, and bottom of funnel. So that's all mapped out for you. And then we have a graphic design team that matches the branding for your ads. A lot of the ads that you saw in here are ads that we've actually, our design team has created. Then we have myself as the ad strategist. I map out the actual strategy, create the blueprint. We gain a solid understanding of your market and how it operates, and then what we need to do. Then we also have a funnel engineer and then an ad manager that put everything together and then run the actual ad campaign. So we're a full dedicated team in building these. It is obtainable for anyone to really create the strategy. They just have to learn how and be aware of the process. And a lot of you already have content. A lot of you already have great content. You have videos, you have video testimonials, you have how-to guides, right? All those things are already there. It's sometimes just taking that content and repurposing it inside of some type of funnel that's going to be that message just towards sellers or buyers or whatever type of funnel you're building. If you don't want to do it yourself and it feels too daunting or you just don't have the time, then we certainly understand, and we're happy to talk to you about what that entails of building it out.
Awesome. I love it. All right. So, and how would they reach out to you? Just give them some, would they just email you? Would they Facebook message you?
You can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. That's a great way to do it. Or go to my website, TravisThom.com. That's THOM is my last name. So TravisThom.com. Go there, and there's a place to be able to schedule an appointment with us. Take a look there, and there's a way to get a hold of me.
All right. So thank you for that. And you guys, look, Travis is a rock star, right? In fact, Travis and I are working on some stuff right now where he's going to be doing some stuff for Club Wealth. Very excited about that, by the way. And so, seriously, if you're looking for some help with this, just reach out to him. So let's get to some more of your questions, and we can come back to that. So let's go to Christina Juarez is saying, prescription is absolute reality. I'm a single agent independent broker. I would love this. I completely understand. I don't blame it. I love it too. All right. So Kim Himes saying the evergreen piece would be set up inside your CRM and immediately activated once they opt in. Is that correct?
In terms of the seller lead funnel and what they're creating? Yeah.
So, and I think what she's talking about the evergreen piece, I think what she's talking about is, if you've got this, I'm thinking she's talking lead magnet is what it sounds like.
Right. Okay. Right. So the lead magnet, I mean, depending on what you're going to use, right? If it's a Facebook lead ad or home valuation landing page, whatever kind of landing page is offering, whatever it might be, then yes, you want to have that connected to your CRM because that is kind of a critical component. Follow-up is a big piece of this. So it's a nice complement when you do have their email and phone and text. So you can then set those up. There's lots of different types of things out there to use. The different technologies, and they're mentioned a lot in Club Wealth, and so I'm sure people are hyper aware of that. But you want to be able to have all of your middle of the funnel set up already, right? This isn't something that you're just going to do in 1 hour, right? You want to have all of your middle of the funnel already pre-created. You want to have your follow-up campaigns created, your text messages, whatever those are, and really have this mapped out. So that investment in time of just putting that all together is really going to pay off if you have everything connected, because then it's an evergreen process, right? Susie Jones comes in on day one, and she gets the exact same message that Thomas, 4 months from now does when he goes into the top of the funnel, and he gets the same message. They're just at different dates and different times. But when you have a great sales message pre-crafted in there, it's going to save you a lot of time. I have 5 different funnels running right now for my own business. And if I were to try and talk to each one of those people, I couldn't. We literally hundreds of different people coming in from different things, going into different products, different segments, different items. So we know that real estate agents wear like 100 different hats and are doing a million different things. And I totally get it. As being one, and I've managed over 76 agents during my career, having a system in place is critical, but having a strategy layered on top of that triggers the system is part of that secret sauce that is really going to be able to build your pipeline and that lead generation and nurturing them. So ideally, you're just running things at the top of the funnel, and then at the bottom of the funnel too, you're closing, right? You're just actually taking calls or following up, whatever it might be, and getting them to make that transition into being onboarded as a client.
And for the love of Pete, people, once you get them on the phone, just freaking set the appointment. Oh my gosh, how many times do we talk about this? You go through all this trouble to get somebody into your funnel and get them down through your funnel and get them down to converting at the bottom of the funnel. All that matters at that point is get an appointment and get face-to-face with them. Quit trying to get them pre-qualified or pre-whatever. Just get face-to-face. All right, here's another great question from Anton Nenchev. First of all, he liked the dating analogy. That's awesome. That's one of my favorites too. That being said, what if there's no proof? So Anton's a newer agent, and he's like, hey, look, I got no social proof. I got no clients. How do I make up for that piece in my funnel if I'm new in the business?
Then I would add social proof of the market, social proof of well, Anton, are you with a larger company like a franchise or?
So Anton, if you could type that in, or actually we can let's see here. Yeah, he is with a larger franchise. Great. I know exactly where you're going with this, and I agree. Go for it.
Yeah. So we need to talk then about social proof of that company, right? Of that franchise. We're in 85 countries worldwide, or cumulatively throughout the nation. To date, we've sold over $16.3 billion in real estate, and I'm proud to be part of this organization. Find out how I can help you sell your home today, right? So there's different strategies that you can use with social proof. It doesn't have to be about your specific testimonial, specific actual success. That'll come later. It's leveraging what you have available, and so I would tap into that.
That's one of the advantages to being on a team, for example. You always say we this and we that. It's never me or I. It's always we this and that. And use the team, and when you say we, you could be talking about the team, you could be talking about the brokerage, right? It really doesn't matter. And the reality is most people aren't going to drill you so deep that they figure out that, oh my gosh, I've only been doing this for a week, right? And so when they say, well, how long have you been selling real estate? I'd say, well, we've been in business for over 30 years. And, blah, 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 and I'd move right on, right? I would literally just move right past that and not dwell on that question. But this is obviously an appointment, but bottom line is use the proof of your office or your team. Carol Kennedy has another really great question. Do you think that momentum is lost if you only run the ads Friday, Saturday, and Sunday rather than 7 days a week? Travis?
Yes, I think so. So that's called day parting in Facebook terms. So day parting, when you're selecting I want these ads to run only on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. You're missing out on a large part of other people's daily habits and interactions, right? Because what Joan Wagner as a 53-year-old divorcee does is completely different than what Richard does, as a 33-year-old, and their actual online habits. So I and from a budgeting standpoint too, it's lifetime budgets and day parting are kind of a nightmare. Lifetime budgets spit out the budget really quickly and in different ways. So you may blow the whole budget within the first couple hours and only hit a small amount of people. So we really need to just take in the greater thing. Everyone's on well, not everyone, but billions of people are on Facebook, and they're spending up to 6 hours a day, not just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the people are there. They're there. So don't segment your days so they're so narrow, because you're really missing a large opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. And guys, keep in mind that right now, Facebook, literally, the average American is on Facebook more than they watch TV now. So would I rather go out and spend a bunch of money on TV ads? And I used to do about 40 grand a month in TV and radio. Would I rather go spend that money on TV and radio right now and just be broadcasting and hoping that people are getting it? Or would I rather do it on Facebook and get really targeted, so that when those people come into my world, and now I can retarget them, stay in front of them, and now I'm going deeper with the same audience rather than trying to go wide with different audience. Now, you need to do both to some degree, but it's really important that I go deep with my audience, because I need to connect with somebody 7 to 10 times before they'll even make the decision to take action. They need to recognize me. They need to understand, that we're for real. And then they will be finally open to engagement with us. All right, we got some other great questions here. Tristan asked, does the Pixel automatically add them to a custom audience that you set it to? And then how do you run a direct to that audience?
Tristan, is that Ahamada?
No, it's not Tristan Ahamada.
Different Tristan.
Different Tristan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different Tristan.
Tristan knows the answer to that one. That one's.
Yeah, I was like, Tristan, why are you asking that?
I know. I'm just saying.
Tristan,
like, dude, did you talk about this last week? I was like, you should know that.
So, Tristan, yeah. So does it automatically add it to? So there's prep work in this, and when you're creating a custom audience, so you have your Pixel installed on website, landing page, whatever it is, and then you're going to then actually name, or then you're going to create a custom audience. When you create a custom audience, then you need to name that custom audience. So you would say seller lead campaign, Denver market area. And then inside of there, right, it's already predetermined there. Now, when you then run ads to that landing page as a Pixel, yes, people are going to automatically be sent in there. And then you're going to have a campaign or a set of ads that are just targeting that specific custom audience. So the moment a person clicks on a top of funnel ad, goes to your landing page, they get put in the custom audience, and then they then are sent into the ad, right? Because this campaign is targeting just people in that custom audience. That's all automatic. There's just prep work, right? Just like painting a house, 90% of the work is taping off the corners, right, and getting it ready. And then you come in and, just paint it, and that's good to go. So a lot of this, same thing, 90% of the work is building the actual campaign. But yes, it is automatic. You just have to create the custom audience, then name the custom audience, and then create the campaign or the ad where it's going to target that specific custom audience.
So another question that we frequently get is, once I've created that custom audience, let's say new people come into the Pixel and qualify for that audience, will they automatically be added to that audience, or do I need to recreate that audience to get them in there?
It's evergreen. It's dynamic, is what Facebook calls it. So being dynamic and not static, then new people are coming in every day. So you would have 10 people, let's say, come into that funnel tonight, and then 2 days from now, then you have 45 people come into it. Well, they'll go through that funnel, but they're always being added to it. So that's why it's called evergreen.
Yep, exactly. All right, good stuff. So John's asking, so when you retarget how do you retarget leads so that they don't constantly see the same ads, and do you create audiences by date?
So that is done through what we call retargeting stacks. So we create retargeting stacks based on a segment of days, and then the segment of days, then as this is kind of hard to talk about it without actually doing like a deep dive into actually showing you, because there's some steps included in it. But we burn out an ad. So we have an ad that's set to run for days 1 through 10. It's going to show it to those people for 10 days. And then we have another ad that's going to be running from days 10 to 20. Well, we're going to exclude the previous audience, days 1 through 10. So that ad burns out as this ad comes up and rinse and repeat. So I would love to be able to show you exactly what that is. But that's kind of like a whole separate thing of building exactly what that is. But it's what we do. It's what other marketers that are working on large evergreen or small evergreen funnels do.
Yeah, and that's like, so today is kind of 101, right? And maybe another time, maybe, and that's Travis, maybe that'd be a good one for us to do another time. For those of you that are interested, and if you are interested, type it into your screen that, hey, I want to see 202, right? Or whatever it is, and we'll take this to that next level. And we'll do another event like this, another webinar on exactly how to do stacking and some of the other strategies that really help to go that next step further. All right, still got a couple more questions. Travis, I want to be respectful of your time. Do you have like 6 more minutes?
I do.
All right, we're going to do 6 more minutes. That's it. Here we go. So check it out. We've got, let's go to, well, this is an easy one. So Ralph wants to know, where's Travis based? That's easy.
So I don't exist. I am based in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I love it, which is awesome because that's one of those villages out there where there's people that don't have internet yet, and yet Travis is there. They're still doing smoke signals to tell each other where they're at and what's for dinner, that sort of thing. All right, so here we go. Is there a breakdown on how to set up the ads to automate through the entire funnel? Is there a way to completely automate the entire funnel?
Yes, there is. There's most of your funnel is going to be automated from the start of the middle of the funnel all the way to the very end.
Yeah.
You can from the top of the funnel, because typically the top of the funnel is kind of more a manual process because you're looking at your relevance score and frequency rate, making sure that you're not reaching ad fatigue, and tweaking that, a few of those kind of things. But there is a way to automate the top of the funnel as well. So the whole thing can be automated. Yeah.
And you guys, that's where the industry's headed right now. I mean, where everything's going to get more automated. I mean, there's systems out there that are coming together that are literally trying to replace the ISA position through complete automation. It's getting closer and closer, and there's artificial intelligence being built in. Right now, kind of the simple iterations of some automation are, you've got your drip email campaigns that automatically get kicked off as somebody comes into a certain part of your funnel. And yes, and that's another one of the questions we've gotten actually from a couple of people is, who do we use for that? What CRMs do we use for that? And there's lots of great ones out there, right? We love Commissions Inc. I love you can get as simple as like a Lion Desk. And George, to answer your question, we do not have the drip campaigns available for Lion Desk yet. And I don't know when they'll be available, but I'm hoping soon. But that being said, automation is massive, and it's coming. And I'm telling you, in the next 2 to 5 years, you're going to see the agents are going to do less and less and less of this process because it's going to get so complicated that you're going to have to hire companies like Travis and some other companies to do a lot of this automation for you. Which then now instead of you doing a lot of that follow-up, which is very important now, right? The fortune's in the follow-up. But instead of you doing a lot of that follow-up, what's going to happen is automation's going to do a lot of that follow-up, and now you're going to be focused on conversion. So your job is going to be, once they're ready to get voice-to-voice, and then I got to convert them to an appointment. Once they're ready, once they're face-to-face, now I got to convert them to a sale. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, I would say, one of the biggest things that has helped me be where I am in my career is automation. I would not be able to get to where I am if it was not for automation. It's like creating clones of you with your best sales pitch that are doing digital work, right? 24/7, 3 a.m. I have leads that come in at 4 or 5 a.m. When I'm just kind of waking up and starting my day, that it's doing the magic for me. right? There's a lot of prep work beforehand, but automation, especially in real estate, is key. And so really leverage the tools that are available to you to free up your time and to do things like this, right? To really be able to execute strategies at a high level.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And by the way, Tristan, thank you. Tristan said, it's Tristan Campanella down in San Diego said, thank you so much. There's such great content as always from Club Wealth, and it's our pleasure. This is what we do. We love bringing you guys great content like Mr. Travis Thom, the freaking king of the Facebook world. Absolutely love it when you're on this, guys. Seriously. All right. So another one question. Stephen Wickland was wondering, is this being recorded? Short answer is yes, it's being recorded. And I would love to say that it always works out perfectly, but technology sometimes pukes on us, right? So right. I hope that we are able to promote to publish the replay of this. And so chances are that will happen. It should be out next week. It's not going to be today. We got a lot of stuff on the marketing calendar for today. In fact, we've got another webinar coming right up after this on one of our favorite lead sources, leadslikecandy.com. So if you guys are not already using that, or even if you are, we're going to be talking about how to get more out of it, how to make sure that you're converting more listings out of it. So that being said, you guys reach out to Travis Thom. If you don't, Travis, if you could maybe put your email address in the screen there, or maybe your website in the chat box there, wherever you want them to go, you guys reach out to him. He'll help you out. And if you guys are, and George, I love it. George's like, hey man, I'm already signed up for VSM. I'm coming, and I'm signed up for VIP. And by the way, I'm glad to hear you're signed up for VIP already, because we are literally getting close to sold out already. We have nearly 3 times as many people signed up for that event than we did this time last year. So the event's going to sell out, and VIP is almost already sold out. So Travis, did you get that in there? TravisThom.com. There we go. And Travis at leadstolisting.com. So you guys reach out to him. I appreciate you taking the time. Travis, any parting thoughts for us? Parting advice, thoughts, anything you want to wrap up with?
Don't get discouraged by if you think this is too big to grasp. Once you start to learn it's easy to implement. To me, it's a life skill. Right, to being able to regenerate on demand and really understand exactly how the psychology of home buyers and sellers work, but you don't have to have this huge funnel, right? It doesn't have to be severely complicated. Sometimes the simple things work, and it doesn't have to be 15, 25 ads. It can be 3 or 4 really well-crafted ads that you're delivering the most powerful message in there. So if anything, invest in yourself, invest in learning. So thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can talk more and dive deeper into all of these topics.
I love it. Thank you very much for that. So my parting thought for today is, you guys, listen, here's the reality. If you don't learn this stuff, you have 2 choices. If you don't learn it, it's 3 choices, right? Choice 1 is learn it. Choice number 2 is just pay Travis to do it for you. Choice number 3 is you're going to be out of business in 5 years. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, because the technology now, and there's so many people that want a piece of the real estate industry. There's so many high-powered companies. You got Amazon coming in now. You got Google. Look what Zillow's done. Look at Realtor.com. You've got all these people that are coming in, and they're charging tons of money for those leads. And you guys, some people, I love agents that they love to complain about the cost of leads, and yet they won't take the time to learn how to do this. And so you guys are a step ahead. You're here, you're watching this, you're taking the time to learn it. All I'm saying is you got to make a decision. You're either going to learn it, or you're going to pay Travis or somebody like Travis to do it for you, or you're going to get left behind. And you're going to be paying a premium for leads going forward. And who knows where that leads? Maybe you lose control over the industry altogether. So Travis Thom, wonderful, amazing stuff. As always, thank you very much for being here. You guys, you always hear me say this at the end of everything we do. The insight, and I say it because it's true, right? I want you to hear this. I want you to think about it. I want you to internalize it. Inside every single one of you, there's a world-class beast just dying to get out. You got to choose to unleash that beast. Now, you may not feel world-class today. You might feel like a schmuck today. We all have those days, right? You might feel less than today. Whatever. You have got to make the decision that you're going to be the world-class at some point in your life. Start today. And you know what? Maybe tomorrow you're not world-class. Okay, great. Then the next day I'm going to do better. I'm going to strive to be world-class. Go treat people the way you want to be treated. Take care of everybody around you. Be world class, and we'll see you on the next Club Wealth webinar. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.